It's been about a week now since I've been using the Ozlo Sleepbuds, and I know so many people are really curious, especially about the battery life. How is the battery life? How's the battery life? How's the battery life? Well, good news, I'm gonna share with you about 3 different ways that I tested it, and I've got some other information I wanna share with you. I have written down here, so we're gonna really dive in. Now, if you are thinking about getting the Ozlo Sleepbuds or first hearing about them and wondering where you can get them, I'll put a link, my referral link, in the description as well as the comment section. And when you do order them, you do get updates. The company's doing a great job with updates. And I know so many people are anxiously awaiting to get their Sleepbuds. And I know people in other countries will, it's gonna take a little bit of time, but they're working hard at getting it done. Now, before we dive in and talk about everything, I did initially do a video that I know several people have seen where I share my first couple of nights, and highlights of the app. If you want to see that video, I'll be sure to put a link to it. And at the end of the video, there will be the thumbnail, which will take you right to the video there. Now, before I dive in, I just want to share one thing, and it has to do with the whole sleep experience. Obviously, with sleeping, you're going to want to use the Sleepbuds. Well, what's interesting enough is I use a sleep mask too. And look at that, got purple and purple. And I find having a sleep mask is not only beneficial for sleeping and waking up when it gets light out, but also for napping. And this one is awesome. It's by Manta Sleep. It's called the Sleep Mask Pro. I'll put a link to it, or at the end of the video, there will be a thumbnail where you can check it out. Great for side sleepers. It's lightweight, it's awesome. And hey, it matches the purple. So just wanted to share that with you. Let's go ahead now and talk about the battery life. So one of the things that they talk about with the battery life, and it's mentioned in the Q&A, or the FAQ on the site, they are using a lithium-ion battery, and it does say the lithium-ion battery, this is a new battery that also charges faster, has a longer cycle life, performs better in extreme temperatures, and holds its charge longer, limited self-discharge. So that's a big deal. And I remember many, many years ago when I was working for Nextel and we were selling the batteries and they came out the lithium-ion batteries, it really made it a whole new experience. So you should feel really good about what the company's doing. Now, let me go ahead and share with you about the battery life and the 3 different ways that I tested it. So the first way I tested it is with the streaming, and that is being able to be connected with Bluetooth and listen to whatever app you wanted. So at 10:02 p.m., I started using it, and at 6:30 a.m. is when I stopped to check the battery life, and it was showing 6% on my right ear and 5% or low on my left. Now when it hits 5%, you'll see it will say low. So that's what I noticed. So you might see 1 or 2% difference between the right and left, but I didn't have any issues with dropping. One of the things too is if you're doing something, if I recall in the streaming, then it might sound like it's disconnecting and then comes back, but it always stay connected. The one thing is you want to make sure if you're using like a streaming service, you've got good reception in that room that you're in. So that is one thing to keep in mind. The second night I did standard noise, and that is, just picking one of the library sounds. And at 9:39 p.m. I started, and at 5:01 a.m. it was 19% remaining there for battery life. So that is less than 8 hours, but still through the night for me. And then the last one is phone free, and that is where you go ahead and it will disconnect, and it has a timer, and within 10 minutes it will disconnect from the app. And so whatever that setting is what it's going to be through the night. So you want to make sure during that time that you get the volume set where you're at, because you won't be able to adjust that during the night. So unless you put them back on the case and take them back off and then start that over again, that is the setting. And so that is the 3 different times of battery life. So I can tell you with confidence, and even beyond that, the batteries are getting a full night out of them, and I've not had any issue with one stop working. So that's my experience thus far, and you should feel confident that, especially because of the lithium-ion battery, it's going to make it for a better experience. The next thing we'll talk about is sound. So I was sitting on my couch and using some red light therapy, and I was just listening to music, and I could not believe how good the sound is. I'm not a sound expert, but the music sounded awesome. It just was very crisp, it's clear, it get loud, and I'm really impressed with the sound. So if you're looking for a good sounding earbuds, then they're going to be perfect. Plus you have them for sleeping. Now obviously sleeping, you're not going to probably want them too loud, and so although you do what you're comfortable with there, but sound is amazing. As far as comfort, for me, these are very soft silicone earpieces. These tips, very, very comfortable in the ear. And you're gonna have different sizes to choose from. And so you're gonna do what you want fit. One thing you wanna make sure is they're not too small in the ear, because you wanna make sure that tip is holding the earbuds the sleep buds in place. So that's something to really think about. So again, very soft silicone, the way it sits in the ears. Now, noise isolation is the next one. Without the sound on, and somebody asked me that, what is the isolation like without even the sound on? And I will tell you, these really do a surprisingly good job, even with them in my ears right now, without any sound on. I notice that it even blocks out sound well with these on. And I even think that these have done even a better job than the Bose Sleepbuds as far as that. So without even sound on, definitely a good experience there. And then obviously with the sound, it's gonna help even more. And I think it's going to really make it effective. And I'm really curious to hear, and please leave any comments below this video, whether you're using it for snoring and how that's working for you. And maybe I'll do another test with sound behind me with snoring and see how loud I have to hear it. We'll do something there. So definitely with blocking sound, it's really done a good job. What's interesting though, it does have a difference with sound. So certain sounds where I hear it blocks, or like in the middle of the night I went to the bathroom and I can hear the toilet flush a little bit, but not nearly as loud as otherwise. As far as the alarm works well. You have a snooze and you could simply stop. I know that for the phone free mode, they're working on ways to maybe do snoozing. It's something that's work in progress. So, stand by for, things to maybe come on that, but I'll just share with you there. So for the phone free mode, I would recommend most likely that you're gonna wanna put them back in the case when the alarm goes off, and then you're good to go. So that's what I would say about the phone free and the alarm. And lastly, what's great as well in the app is if you are having some issues and you need to address them to the company, you have this option here where you can email them, take a screenshot. So there's a really great way you can reach out to help right through the app if you have any questions there and you need support. So my experience over the past week really has been great. I think you all really will love the Ozlo Sleepbuds, especially if you're coming from using the Bose Sleepbuds. And if you haven't on either, then I think you're in for a real treat. You're gonna really, really enjoy them. And these are gonna be great to take on the road. And also I think it's nice with the phone free mode that you can do that, especially for those that are affected by Bluetooth and EMFs and concerned by that. But just keep in mind that only works with the library sounds. It does not work with any apps or anything like that. So you have to keep in mind because it's disconnecting the Bluetooth. So there you go. Those are the updates on this video. If there's something else that I didn't cover today, let me know. I appreciate your time. I hope you have a great night's sleep, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.